Crop Talk TV podcast. Peace. Welcome to another episode of Future Stars of Tomorrow. I am your host, former NFL and AFL defensive back, Eric Crocker, and on today's episode, I'm going to be joined by Drew. All right, so I'm covering all my bases with this, and obviously all three guys I've talked about so far have been from my hometown, Stockton, California. We got a lot of talented kids, and they go through different adversities, all right? So we talked to Jonah Coleman. Jonah Coleman. He's been the star recruit. He has some SEC offers and stuff. He settled in on committing to Arizona at the moment, all right, Arizona Wildcats. Then we talked to Isaiah Downs, who had a different path. He went the junior college route, had a bunch of different adversities, talked about, catching a felony charge or all type of things that he had to go through, living that junior college life, being in an apartment with 12 guys, a 3-bedroom apartment with 12 guys, having to pay over $400 and trying to figure out how to survive before he got an off scholarship to Sam Houston State, where they just won a division FCS national championship there. And now, today, my guy, Drew Jenkins, who's a walk-on to San Jose State. So, again, 3 different guys, 3 different situations. But Drew, walk-on, and he's doing all kind of amazing things. This is one of the kids, the hardest working kids I've ever seen in my life. And we'll talk about a little bit when he signed to San Jose State. But I cried, man. And I'm not somebody that cries, but I was just so proud of the person that he is, the person that he's becoming, and how hard he worked to fight for every single thing that he's gotten. He's kind of been a bit of the underdog, all right? So, with no further ado, I'm going to bring my guy on, Andrew Jenkins.
Yo,
what's up, man?
What's up? Nothing much. Just glad to be here and talk about, the story and the journey that I had.
Yeah, man. So we got to start back, like really from like the Pop Warner time, right? Because you were a kid and you're a twin. And everybody looks at your brother as like, that's big brother because he's bigger than you. Yeah. And is that something that you've had to fight with, even going back to just being a little kid?
Yeah, I would definitely say back in Pop Warner, it was much worse. I wouldn't say like the fact of having a twin was worse, but just like I've always been, supported twin, like wanted him to be the best. I knew he was going to be the best. Still think that to this day. But back then it was hard to understand that, but also know like that it's okay that I'm not balling like he is right now or doing what he's doing right now. Because when I was a kid, especially Pop Warner, all I could see is he's scoring touchdowns, he's getting picks. I'm not scoring as many touchdowns as him. I'm not getting as many picks as him. Like, why my stats don't look like his? That's all I cared about. But as I grew up, I mean, obviously that stuff changed. But I definitely would say Pop Warner, and even like 9th grade, even a little bit of 10th grade, it was hard for me because I was still small. Like I said, like when I started high school, I think I was 4'11", 99, 100 pounds, barely breaking that. So, I mean, and my brother, when I started high school, was 5'8", like 145. So, like, I mean, just having the simple fact, like I got to walk around saying I'm a twin, but he's like 7, almost a whole foot taller than me. Like, it was just hard. And I mean, I struggle with that. And I mean, I'm thankful for that struggle because it taught me a lot about myself, but it definitely was hard Pop Warner days for sure.
Now, I remember coming across you guys, I want to say junior year of high school. Then again, I really worked with you guys heading into your senior year of high school, where you guys joined the 7-on-7 team with myself, Donald Salter, Vince Carter, all of us, Elevate, 209, 7-on-7. And that was when I really started working with you, especially with Crocktime University, my defensive back program. And one thing that really stood out the most was I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you being the smaller of the twin, you being the guy that kind of had to have that chip on your shoulder, did that make you work harder at everything that you did? Because to this day, I've never come across a kid that worked harder and as relentless as you did during that time.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. You know me. It's just ever since I remember, even when I think my dad will attest to this, but I remember I think it was like 4th grade where I'm over here like, bro, like my brother is balling out of control. Like everybody knows his name. Like he about to be getting moved up, talking about moving him up to varsity when he's only in 4th grade. They talking about high school and stuff already. I'm like, bro, all right, bro, I gotta get right. And so I'm already know like my dad, he played Division I ball, had a chance to go to the league and all that. So he knows the deal. He telling me like, if you really want to be serious about this, you already know you're smaller. You got to go do that extra stuff. And I don't know if I was born that way or just it was my parents. I mean, my parents had a lot to do with that. but just I think really coming out of Stockton and embracing that struggle, like just implementing that struggle with what I was going through with my twin and just being in Stockton, it kind of taught me how to work hard. And like ever since I can remember, like fourth grade when it started, I was trying to lift weights already. Like I was 4'7", trying to lift weights already, going crazy, trying to go crazy. My dad's like, nah, you got to start on the resistance bands. And I'm over here like getting mad at him, like, nah, I need to be better. And I mean, ever since then, I was running on the treadmill like 5 a.m., waking my dad up to work me out at 5 a.m. And I kind of just kept that stuff going. I still do that to this day. So, I mean, it's kind of just establishing that, like, once I knew that I need to work harder and to get where I wanted to be, it was a matter of if you're going to do it or not. And every day I wake up is something that tells me go do what you want to go do and get your bag.
Now, I had a coach tell me one time, Coach Dykes, and he was just like, hey, what you guys do in the classroom is a direct correlation of what you do off the field. And you not only, especially, your senior year, did your thing, right? And I was there for all that. I used to go to all the games and everything, but you did your thing. But also in the classroom, and there are a lot of guys, and we talked about Jonah. Jonah talked about freshman year where he struggled and some teams maybe fell off from a recruiting standpoint. Isaiah Downs, he went through his kind of issues up and down a little bit academically. You were like a 4.8 grade point average kid, and I didn't even know you can have a 4.8. So what kind of went behind that mindset of just being so studious in the classroom?
Shoot, I got to give all that credit to my parents, especially my mom. Like that, I ain't even scared to say, like my dad, he was an enforcer, but like 80-90% of that, you better get them good grades was coming from my mom. If I wasn't getting straight A's, I wasn't playing football. So, I mean, it was that simple. If I wasn't getting that done in the classroom, I wasn't going to be able to do what I wanted to do. So if it was to suit up, to play in Pop Warner, to, go have fun with my friends, make sure I'm there on Saturdays playing in the games, it was that simple. Get your grades right or you're not playing. And it was that simple. It was do that or you're not playing. And I knew I wanted to play. I wanted to play ball. I still want to play ball for as long as I can. So I'm still getting them good grades. It's just kind of like they kind of like, I don't want to say instilled that in me, but I mean, basically that's what they did. Like they kind of just hammered that in my head where I just can't even think any other way besides get them grades or you're not playing football.
So, we talked about a lot of the success that your brother had, and heading into the senior year, he started, receiving offers from universities and stuff. I remember I had a buddy that reached out to me and he's like, hey man, like, what's up with that Drew Jenkins, man? Like, if we offer him, would he accept it? And I'm like, man, I don't know. He's having some Pac-12 teams calling him and everything. And you're seeing, all that, right? And obviously your brother has gotten a lot of love since you guys were kids. But now, and I had these conversations with you, it was almost like that you feel kind of left out because you're working extremely hard. You're doing everything that you possibly could do on the field and off the field, but the recruiting didn't kind of go your way. How did you kind of go through that process? I remember getting text messages from you at 1 a.m.
I know.
And you telling me how bad you wanted it.
Going through it. I mean, that all came from a place of love, like all that, frustration and stuff. It's just like, you put in all these hours and stuff. You expect something in return, and I think that's where I was going wrong. I was expecting something in return for putting in all these hours of work when I should have been just falling more in love with the process of it. Because, I mean, my dad has told me 1,000 countless times, if you do good, no matter where you play, if you're at high school, at a D6 school, or if you at an FCS school or D2 school in college trying to go to league, if you're good, they're going to find you, period. And I think that's what I should have fell back on, even though I got that one scholarship offer to Air Force, which I wasn't going there. So, I mean, besides that fact, like I should have just, understood in that moment that even though if I had to walk on somewhere, if I was good enough, it was gonna work itself out. And I mean, going through that process when Trey was getting all that love and stuff, I think I just towards the end of it, when I realized that, I didn't know if I was gonna play football or something like that, I think I actually decided like I was more falling in love with the process of it, and I started working for the process of it, not for the accolades or the rewards or trying to get a scholarship offer. I started working because I wanted to do that, and I wanted to keep putting in the work in because I knew I could do something about it. And I finally understood that if I did the work and I believed in myself, then it was going to work out. And it paid off. So, I mean, I just had to finally understand that for myself.
What went into walking on at San Jose State as opposed to maybe going to like, a Division II school or maybe like an FCS school that like you, or even like Air Force?
Yeah, I mean, so I was thinking about committing to Air Force because that was my only offer. I got the offer, I mean, a week before signing day. It was my only Division I offer. I was thinking about going there. I mean, if you think about the guy that I am, I'm probably the perfect Air Force candidate, does all that type of training and all that stuff. But my dad sat me down and talked to me, and he was like, I don't think that you should go there, basically, essentially. And I had got a preferred walk-on offer to San Jose a week before I got the Air Force offer. So I was already contemplated going there. I had talked to the coaches. They was like, we watched your film. We know you're Trey's brother. You're a great athlete. Walk on, come get a scholarship. Like, we have no doubt if you're put in that work that you say you put in, you're going to get a scholarship. So, I mean, when I heard that from them, I'm already thinking, like, if they know that if I could keep working that hard and go to school with my brother, I'm going to prove myself. Like, I knew that was in my head. Like, I was going to do that. But it was just the fact that I didn't want to have to pay for college, so I contemplated going to Air Force. But I think at the end of the day, when you have your twin brother, a lot of people don't understand what it feels like to have a twin and play football with the twin. Like, you already, like, when you play football with another dude that you close with, that is like your twin. That's like your brother. Like, you experience things in football that nobody else will. And you do that with your twin, it's like to the like ninth power. You feel me? Like, it's just like, I couldn't give that up yet. Like, I remember the moment we thought we weren't playing football together anymore. It was my senior year section game. We got blown out the waters by Folsom. And I remember just Trey and I stood on the field for like 10 minutes just crying. Like, damn, like, that was the last time we was ever finna suit up together, line up in the DBs, like back there, DBs together. And I was just like, nah, that ain't feel right. Like, we felt like it wasn't like it. And when I got that preferred walk-on offer, I was like, yeah, I mean, we both knew like that wasn't our last time playing. And he told me, he was like, bro, I believe in you. I'm always hold you up, keep you up around there. And I know if you keep doing what you're going to do, you're going to get that scholarship. And I was just like, bro, if you keep me up and you promise that, then I have no doubt in my mind that I can't go do that. And that's what we did. We both came here and both doing our thing.
Now, again, everything that I saw you go through, like, just to kind of get to that position, the work that you put in, you've been doing those same things there. And not only doing those same things from a hard working standpoint that they said, hey, if you come in here, you do those things, we have no, problem giving you a scholarship and whatnot. But you did those things. And even then, the scholarship was not coming as quickly as you kind of expected it would or that you thought it would. So much so to the point where, I got messages from you saying, Coach Croc, like, you apologized to me and said that you weren't going to play football anymore. And I said, nah, man, like, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
But so why, something that you've worked so hard for, and I felt like you're getting close. And obviously, like, there has been times where it paid off, but what was the mindset then that made you almost want to stop doing something that you love doing so much?
I mean, shoot, I was going through a lot back then. When I was going through those times, it wasn't just about football. It was just kind of like, that was weighing a lot on my mental, like, putting in that much work, even in college, and like trying to like think like these coaches, I'm doing my stuff. I was traveling actually. I think that year I played in some games on special teams. So I'm over here like, I'm doing my stuff on the field, off the field, and like it's not working out. So I'm just over here like maybe it's time to close the doors on this. Like, I have other opportunities. Like, football's always been the plan B. So I don't need to necessarily do that. And I think I just got lost in my head, and obviously it worked out. Came back. I couldn't give up football once again. My brother kept me in check. He sat me down, talked to me. He's like, bro, I know you don't want to do this. Like, you don't want to give up football. Like, if anything, go play somewhere else where you're wanted. And I mean, it took a lot. Like, it wasn't just one conversation with my twin brother that fixed everything. It was, him getting at me, my parents getting at me, like, you getting at me, I'm talking to you, like, you telling me that, you did put in too much work for this to not work out and things like that. And I mean, I think it was just a lot of people, helping me out, get my mind right, get back on the right track, and, stay focused still. And I mean, that's what I had to do, and just realign my focus, because I mean, it is stressful. College football is not easy, to say the least. So I mean, it was just a lot of stress. You put in all that work on top of already that insane hours that we got to do. You're working 2 jobs. You're trying to get the straight A's to prove that you have some work on the team and stuff. And so it was just stressful. But I mean, I got on the right track, got the scholarship, so it was worked out.
Right. So, and obviously I was extremely proud of you when you texted me and told me that you got that scholarship. And that was a huge accomplishment. But I don't even think, and obviously like that's amazing, because that's a something that you really wanted to strive for. But that's not even the biggest thing you've done so far at San Jose State.
Yeah.
You've had like 6 straight semesters with a 4.0 grade point average. And we're not talking about taking those where they put all the football player? Is it
the comm elective classes?
Yeah, like we ain't talking about that. Like you're taking some big time stuff, and you have held a 4.0. I mean, to the point where they have the wall with all the guys that are making the honor roll and everything, and then they have you up at the very top by yourself with a 4.0 grade point average. Man, like how tough. And we'll get to the other things, the internships and everything that you have going on there, but 4.0. I mean, you and I don't know if it's just the standard because that's what you've been doing since you were in high school, but how difficult is it to live that college life, right? Play football, do the internships, all the other things that we'll get into that you're doing off the field with the social injustice and all that, and still maintain a 4.0 grade point average.
Yeah, and I think it just goes back to, like I told you, back when I was young, it's just fourth grade. This is what I was doing. Like I've established this precedent years that I can't even remember when I established this precedent. Like this is coming from my parents, like when I was waking up early doing or what I was doing. Like it's just once you do something over and over and over and over again, it starts feeling weird. Why am I not waking up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. to go get the extra work? Why am I not getting straight A's or I get a B on a test? Like, whoa, that's not normal. It's just kind of my normal is perfection. That's what I pride myself on. And I think a lot of people will attest to that is that I'm low-key a perfectionist. I hate not being perfect in whatever I do. And whether that is getting that 3.99 that I don't want that. I want my stuff to say straight A's, 4.0 perfect. I couldn't do anything better. Because there's someone, I'm all about competition too. I don't want the next person saying they did better than me in that facet. So like at the end of the day, it's competition. It's the standard that I've set. I don't want people to be better than me in what I'm doing. I don't want you to think that like, oh yeah, you got a B or something here. Way back when, I'm better than you. Nah. My stuff is perfect. It's straight. It's perfect. It's straight. You look at it, it's perfect. And that's how that's what I pride myself on. It's something that my mom taught me. Academics is something that no one can ever take away from you. So why not make that perfect? Because I know it's going to pay off in the long run.
You know, I hear a lot of people say sometimes like, oh man, like this is the type of dude like I would let date my daughter, right? And I never understood that. You know, I'm like, man, to me, it's like, man, nobody's ever going to be good enough to date my daughters, right?
Yeah, no.
And then I come across you and I'm like, wow, like, I hope my daughters come across a man that's as good as Drew. And I think that's the highest compliment that somebody can pay to you. I want to get to some of these things that you're doing off the field as well, aside from the grades. You know, you talked about working 2 jobs. You have the internship and everything. How did all that come about?
So the first year when I walked on, obviously I was paying my way through college. Pops was helping me a little bit, but I always told him I was going to give him all that money back. Like we made a deal when we went to St. Mary's that he's not paying for college at all. I'm sending you to a private high school. You better get a scholarship. And so I felt like I was in debt to him. So he was helping me out a little bit. And I'm like, I can't have my pops working, paying, helping, trying to me pay when when I got no jobs. I'm over here just playing football, acting like I'm a scholarship athlete, just playing football here. And that wasn't the deal for me at that time. So after I got my first 4.0, I was already like damn near tutoring the like 40-50% of the football team on a low, just helping them. Like everybody needs a paper done. Someone needs to help on their essay. Someone needs help on a quiz. Hit Drew. I was getting text message. Hit Drew. Everybody like, I'm like, bro, I don't even know who you I'm a 5th year senior. I have a grad class I need help with. I'm 18 years old. I don't know what the hell they talking about in their grad class, but I'm supposed to help him with his essay. So I'm over here like, I don't really care. Like I'm gonna help my teammates. Like if I'm good at school and that's my thing that I can help people with, then I'm gonna help them, because I have other older dudes who their thing is football and they're really good with technique and they're out there on the field with me for hours because I want to get better. So I'm gonna return the favor. So after my first year I got the 4.0, I think Toberg Blaine, she's one of the off the football field trying to help people further their future. She asked me if I want to like get paid for like tutoring, and I'm like, paid like for tutoring? She's like, you already help out like all the football team, like you might as well just become a registered tutor for all of athletics. So I'm over here like, shoot, might as well get my bag up. So like, give me the job. So I got that job. I probably started working around like 20 hours with athletes, tutoring, peer mentoring them, whatever they needed help with. And then the next semester came around and I got offered this internship. It's a paid internship. So I'm over here like, bruh, I mean, what's a little more work for a little more money? Like, so I added that onto my table, and it's all about time management. But like I told you, once you establish a regimen of how you do things and a standard of perfection and things like that, you'll figure out things like time slots to put things in to make things work. And that's especially, I think the reason why I was able to do that is because I remember who I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for my dad, my mom. So when I have that motivation for me, it's not really a big deal to move 2 hours on my day, 5 hours out of the day to go work a job to, pay that money back. So I mean, that's damn near how I looked at it, and that's why I did it.
So the next thing I want to know, and this is one of the last things I want to know, but a lot of things going on, outside, the world. We see everything on social media, all the social injustice things, and you being someone who kind of sees both sides of things, right? I mean, you have your Asian descent. You can tell me exactly what you are. Maybe what, Filipino?
Yeah,
Filipino. Okay, yeah, you look a little Filipino. All right, and then obviously your dad, African American, got a black
Yeah.
father. All right,
Yeah.
how did you get into everything with the social injustice and really kind of leading that at San Jose State? First, you could tell us exactly what you do, and then you could talk to us about how you got into it.
Yeah, so basically during COVID, when all those, about George Floyd and all that came out and people were rioting and things like that, I think I called the person that's in charge of the off-campus stuff, trying to get people better right for their future. I'm like, I think we need to do something about this. Like, we can't just not use our voices to sit on the sideline and like do this stuff. So I called up that person, called up my head coach, and basically we started this organization, this small group, kind of like not a club, but it's just like a group. It's called the POC, the People of Change, and it's like a play on words because POC stands for people of color, but this group is POC, People of Change. And there was about, I'd say, 50 people that joined from just our football team, and it was kind of just a safe space to talk about the things that are going on, because I have a lot of white friends on my team that don't necessarily want to like say anything because they're scared that we're going to crucify them for saying something wrong. But this place was a safe place for them to ask questions where we're not going to be like, damn, he's racist for misphrasing a question.
Yeah.
Because shoot, I'm not educated on everything. And I know if I was white, I'll be scared to say something wrong around my black friends because I don't want them thinking I'm racist. So like, it's just a safe place for where they can learn and get educated and, go tell their parents. Because I've actually had conversations with some of my white teammates on my team. We've had conversations about certain things. They get educated, and then they go tell their moms and pops and their grandparents, like, try to teach them the right norms, that it's not the same as 100 or 50 years ago, like the things that they're taught. And I think that's the big thing that people didn't get. So basically I was leading that for a little bit. Then we got back to campus during COVID, and me and a couple other teammates and a dude from this basketball team, we decided to lead a protest. Like, why not? Everybody's protesting around America. Why isn't San Jose doing nothing in here? So we did that. It actually got a lot of attention. I think there was over like 700 to 1,000 people. It was all of athletes that showed up. People from all parts of San Jose were showing up. Our athletic director was there, head coach of football, head coach of basketball. All of them were there. And we all spoke on that. I think ABC 7 News, ABC 7 Bear, something like that came out, did a little feature on me and the other two people. And I mean, that's kind of what we did. And then going into the presidential election, I was like, I need everybody registered on this team. That was my goal. I wanted the whole staff, every player who's eligible to be registered to be able to at least have the chance to vote. Because I knew in my head, one day, one of my teammates is going to grow up and be like, I don't like what's going on in this world. And how do you change that? You vote. So I wanted to make sure everybody had a voice. Because why would you be 18 or 19 not voting when just 1,000 years ago, there's a whole bunch of slavery going on and our people can't even vote. It's like disrespectful to not even be having the ability to vote when so many people fought for that. So my goal was just to get everybody registered, the staff, the coaches, make sure everybody was registered. And me and one of my close friends and teammates, Christian Webb, we organized that, got everybody to vote. It was crazy because last year we were in Humboldt around the election. So I was trying to get everybody's ballots and like registration forms sent in, working with my coaches. But that's one thing that I'm very prideful on, is getting my whole football staff and team registered vote. So that was one huge thing.
That's dope. And there are a lot of people, I live in the South. It's more conservative here in Arkansas. And a big thing that people were saying was, well, how did, Biden get so many votes, right? Like, that's the most votes that any Democratic Party person has ever received, like, and how when he wasn't even getting out there. And I was like, man, like, not to get, political or anything like that, but I think more people just voted. Like, I don't think
Yeah,
that there was any cheating going
yeah,
on or anything like that. And
exactly.
I don't know. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to start losing subscribers
Yeah,
and stuff. But
yeah,
but I thought it seemed like more people were getting out there and voting. There were a lot of people, athletes and stuff, that were using their voice to talk people into voting. And that doesn't mean like, oh, go vote and you got to vote for Biden. It was just, hey, you have
yeah,
a vote.
yeah.
Use that
Like
vote. Get
exactly,
educated, no matter which way it is that you want to vote, but
exactly.
go and use your voice. And I think
Because I
that's what we
definitely
saw
had
the results of.
Yeah, I definitely had. I mean, it's not like my whole team's full of Democrats or Biden supporters. Obviously, there's Trump supporters, Republicans on my team, more conservative teammates. But the principle is that I wanted everybody to be registered. I don't care your political belief, whatever. I didn't need to know that. That wasn't big to me. I wanted the people to just be able to be registered. I can't be like, oh, you can only be registered vote if you're a Democrat or something like that.
Right.
Obviously, that's not where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a place where everybody deserves to be registered, because there's times where your ancestors and people couldn't even vote. So the right thing to do is use your voice. And I think that's where I was coming from mainly.
That's awesome. So you're heading into your red shirt junior year, right? So
Yep.
I'd assume you're about to graduate.
Yeah, I graduate this fall.
Nice. So you're having an extra year of eligibility to play
I
football,
have,
but
I have 3 years left counting this season.
oh yeah,
For
because of the whole COVID thing.
the COVID year too, yeah.
So not to kind of like fast forward your entire life, but what's next for you after football? What things are you putting in place, to get prepared for life after football?
Yeah, so I mean, shoot, it all depends with this whole football situation. Like I said, I love football. It's always been the plan B though, but I still love football. I want to play as long as I can. So obviously I want to exhaust my eligibility. If hopefully it's here at San Jose State. I love it here. I love the coaches, love the staff, love my teammates, my brothers. So I would obviously want to play here for the rest of my eligibility would be 3 years. But if that doesn't work out, try to get my master's paid for somewhere where I can still play football. But I mean, if say football ends, I always have a backup plan. I'm gonna take a semester because I'm graduating a semester early. So I would take a semester off, get a little internship back in Stockton at the DA's office with someone that I've been connected with, and then study for my LSAT and hopefully score high on the LSAT and get in Stanford Law School or Cornell, Harvard, something like that. So, I mean, graduate from one of them top tier law schools, you damn near have a job offer right after graduation. And that's always been my motive. I'm a money motivated guy. I'm doing all this stuff. I want to have enough money to take care of my family, to take care of my friends and do things like that. So, I mean, setting myself up with Stanford, Cornell, or Harvard, some of those law schools, especially with the grades and the resume I've built, I feel like I can get into some of those schools and hopefully be at the top of the class there too when I graduate.
Yeah, well, I have no doubt that you'll be doing it. I'm pretty sure all the people that tuned in today have no doubt as well. This is a guy that I'm definitely not going to count out in any aspect of life. I know you're going to do great things and be extremely successful, man. But Drew, I appreciate you, man. Hey, tell your brother I said what's up. He's doing great things. We didn't really, we talked about your brother doing well, but obviously he was all conference and everything. Got Mountain West Player of the Week. He's doing his thing at safety right now. Big safety, 6 foot, over 200 pounds.
He's 215 right now. He's
215. I don't know if he should be 215, but
he's moving fast though. He's moving fast. It's
Yeah.
a scary sight. It's a scary sight. He's gonna do some big things this year.
So that's a guy I'm gonna push to get him involved in the Senior Bowl or something. I'm gonna have to message Nagy about him. I think they're sleeping on some San Jose State guys. Man, you guys had Deese. I saw him balling, doing his thing. You guys have Walker.
Yeah, nah, he left. T-Walk left.
Where'd he go?
He was playing with the Bills for a little bit. But I think he got cut.
Oh, well, that's not good. It might be over. There's always a CFL. You never know.
Yeah, I think T-Walk would definitely get another chance. He's an elusive, crazy good receiver. Probably the best receiver I've ever covered, and I've covered a lot of good receivers. But
yeah,
I mean, shoot, they are sleeping on a lot of San Jose State guys. I could definitely tell you that.
All right, well, I'll make sure that they're not sleep on your brother, man.
Yeah,
Drew,
fact.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate you too, Coach. It's always love with you, and I thank you for everything you've done for me. And everybody keep tuning in. It's a great guy right here.
Yes, sir. All right,
Coach. Yes, sir.
All right, that's my guy, Drew. He's heading out to camp starting tomorrow. All right, sound like the San Jose State players are heading up to Chico for their camp. I believe that's what he said. So, but if you're not already, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. I definitely will continue to have this segment. I think I'm gonna get 2 more guys on. All right, this is like a 5-part series that I want to do future stars of tomorrow, kind of highlight young guys and just their process, so people can hear it and they can kind of take bits and pieces of every guy's situation to understand that no 2 guys' situations are the same and guys go through different things. And it's been awesome for me being able to get guys from my hometown, Stock, California, that have a bunch of different walks of life. But that's going to do it for this episode of Croc Talk TV. Make sure you guys subscribe. At the top of the hour, I will be going live with my dog, Jasper Rose. We'll be talking about wide receivers, 49 receivers, training camp kicked off. We're going to get into all that good stuff, Whiteout Wednesday. But that's going to do it, man. I'll catch y'all next time. All right. And yeah. Peace.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Aaron Crocker. Over midfield. He'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Croc Talk TV podcast. Peace.